Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to bring you my CFP quarterfinal pick and prediction. Well, my second CFP quarterfinal pick and prediction video. As I said in my previous video, I'm going to do one video per game. And in these videos, I'm going to let you know on whether or not I'm actually going to place a bet on the game. But regardless of that, I will give you my prediction on how I think the game is going to shake out. So in this game, we're going to talk Peach Bowl, Arizona State versus Texas. First, how did these teams get here? Talk Arizona State. Got to give them props. They came into this season their first year in the Big 12 and projected to be one of the worst teams in the Big 12. They responded to that by going through the Big 12, blowing out quite a few teams, getting into the Big 12 championship game, and crushing Iowa State in that Big 12 championship game. And then Texas, how did Texas get here? Texas was projected to be one of the best teams in the country. They were a national title contender back in the preseason, and they've been as good as advertised. They beat everybody they faced this season except for Georgia. They lost to Georgia at home, and they lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game. Because they lost to Georgia in the SEC championship game, they had to play in the first round of the college football playoff, played against Clemson, beat them 38 to 24 in a game that was not as close as that final score indicates. Okay, so now let's talk this game. Texas came into this game. They opened as a 13.5 point favorite, and that has steadily dropped to 12. So money's on Arizona State. It could be, I won't call it talking trash. I'll call it talking brash. Comments from running back Cam Scatterbull, from quarterback Sam Levitt. These guys are very confident going into this game. They think they're going to acquit themselves very well, and they believe they're ready for a big-time SEC team like the Texas Longhorns. What drives both of these teams? What's the key factor behind both of these teams? Well, starting with Arizona State, it is running back Cam Scatterbull, Heisman finalist. He's been killing it all season, an absolute bull of a running back. But then, you know me, I like balance. Quarterback Sam Levitt, he's given him that balance, particularly the second half of the season. He's been cooking. So you got that balance, and that's what really drove this team to this Big 12 or to this college football playoff quarterfinal. Talk about Texas. What drives Texas? For me, I've said it many times. You can disagree with me if you like. It's up to you. But I believe the Texas Longhorns are the best defense in the country from front to back. They dominate against the run. They have great edge rushers. They have a superstar linebacker, Anthony Hill. And they're great on the back end. Number one ranked team in the country versus the pass. So I think that's what really, that's been the real driving factor behind Texas getting to the college football playoff. So now let's dive into some trends that I'm seeing with both of these teams going into this game. So you look at this game, as I've already mentioned about Cam Scatterbull being a key factor behind Arizona State's offense. He's rushed for 147 yards in 4 of the last 5 games. And quarterback Sam Levitt, he's been cooking. The last 4 games, 11 yards per attempt. And 3 of the 4 teams that he beat in those four games were ranked. So he's been doing it against tougher competition, really getting more confident as the season has gone on. But now let's kind of look a little closer at Scatterbull. 147 for the last 5 games, yes, but he obviously hasn't gone against a front like Texas. Take a look at Texas outside of that Georgia game, removing Georgia because of the Georgia Hex, right? They've allowed 70 yards rushing per game and 2.3 yards per carry in the last 4 games. Texas defensive front is for real. So is Scatterbull going to be able to run the rock against them as consistently as he's done this season against Big 12 teams? I don't think so. So he's going to need to see that balance from Sam Levitt to be able to compete in this game, to be able to win this game. And then we look at Texas. We talk about running the rock. Again, I'll remove the Georgia game. They've averaged 231 yards rushing in their last 4 games. So Wisner and Blue have been going off. Arizona State, as you guys saw on the previous screen, ranked 27th in the country against the run. Not bad. But are they good enough to be able to stop a Texas Longhorn running back duo like Wisner and Blue? That's something I want to take a look closer at. You take a look at Arizona State, their schedule, and you want to look at the teams that have been able to run that can run the ball. How did they fare against Arizona State? Played against Taj Brooks in Texas Tech, a game Arizona State lost. Taj Brooks by himself, he's an absolute monster, ran for 117 yards in that game. You take a look at the Kansas Jayhawks, Devin Neal, Daniel Highshaw, those guys can run the ball. They went for 161 at what I believe 5.6 yards a carry, something like that. They ran the ball. Take a look at UCF, RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey had 127 yards and 3 touchdowns by himself in that game. And I believe UCF had 177 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns in that game running the ball. UCF ran the ball. And then finally, let's take a look at Kansas State. DJ Giddens, running back, Avery Johnson, mobile quarterback. How did those guys do? 154 yards rushing and 6.2 yards a carry. Those guys ran the ball. So for me, I look at this game. I don't see Arizona State capable of stopping Blue and Wisner. They're not going to be able to handle that Texas running game. So now, will Texas have the balance that you need to continue to move the ball against that Sun Devil defense? I've talked about Quinn Ewers plenty of times on here. You guys know what I feel about Quinn Ewers. He played well against Clemson, though. I'll give him that. They're saying Isaiah Bond could maybe / should be back for this game, so he's going to have another weapon at wide receiver. He's got a great stable of fast wide receivers that I don't think Arizona State seen anything like this season. So for me, I look at this game and I say, well, who's going to have the balance in this one? Is it going to be Arizona State or is it going to be Texas? Man, I say it's going to be Texas. They should be able. If you can run the rock, you can run the rock against Arizona State, and Texas can run the rock. That's going to open up the passing game downfield for ears. So I say Texas is going to have that offense, that balance. Arizona State, I don't think Scatterboo is going to be able to run the rock against the Texas Longhorns. Keep in mind, Scatterboo hasn't ran the ball against everybody this season. So I think Texas is a team that definitely can shut them down. If he shuts him down, turn Arizona State into a one-dimensional team against the number 1 ranked pass defense in the country, give me Texas. I'm going to lay the 11. This is a bet I am going to do. Like I said in my last video, not a large bet, smaller bet, but it's definitely a game I'm going to do. Or not 11, I'm sorry, 12. I'm going to take Texas and lay to 12. But I like the Longhorns in this one. So anyway, that wraps this video up. If you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that. As you can see, my YouTube handle hit in a few seconds. Take care.